Behind the velvet curtains of Buckingham Palace, Queen Elizabeth II's tastes remained astonishingly humble. Despite the grandeur of her royal life, the Queen dined in a way that could only be described as unpretentious. She shared meals with kings and dignitaries, but at her core, she preferred the comfort of simple, wholesome food. While the world marveled at her reign, Queen Elizabeth found pleasure in the small, everyday comforts of life. Her food choices reflected this, loyal to British simplicity, yet quietly sentimental about certain flavors. These 10 dishes, remembered fondly by royal chefs and courtiers, give us a glimpse into the tender human side of a monarch who ruled the world but found solace in things far humbler than the glittering halls of her kingdom. For 70 years, Queen Elizabeth II's reign was defined by her composure and unwavering devotion to duty. Yet, there was one constant comfort she turned to daily, a simple pleasure she could rely on amid the complexities of her role. Her absolute favorite, as revealed by her longtime chef Darren McGrady, was a slice of chocolate biscuit cake. Every afternoon, a precise square of this dense, dark chocolate cake, wrapped around crushed, rich tea biscuits, was presented before her for tea. Wherever she went, whether it was Windsor, Balmoral, or traveling abroad, this cake traveled with her, sealed in a tin and carefully guarded by staff. It was always the same, just like the Queen's quiet devotion to consistency. She would enjoy only a small slice, always paired with a cup of Earl Grey tea. It wasn't the richness of foreign confections that brought her joy. It was the simplicity of this sweet, enduring ritual. When the clock struck 5 each afternoon, Buckingham Palace would fall silent, and the Queen would pause for her daily tea. It was her moment of reflection, a brief respite from the whirlwind of royal duties. The ritual was simple. Twining's Earl Grey, no sugar, milk poured first. This was no mere refreshment. It was a time for the Queen to center herself, to reconnect with the calm that tea provided. Footmen would bring fine china and a silver pot of steaming tea. Her corgis would nap peacefully as the quiet aroma of bergamot filled the room. Even during the most tumultuous days, this pause for tea remained a constant, a grounding force for the Queen. Even when traveling abroad, she always ensured that she carried her own tea leaves, ensuring that, no matter the country, she could always recreate the comfort of home in a simple cup of tea. The meal was a time for family, for the Queen to sit with her loved ones, carving the meat with silver knives under the glow of chandeliers. There, she was less of a monarch and more of a grandmother, sharing a quiet meal with her family. She always chose the end cut, well done, familiar, a symbol of her connection to tradition and family. After the meal, she would fold her napkin with precise care, the royal duty temporarily put aside as she savored the simplicity of this weekly ritual. Smoked salmon sandwiches were another beloved snack for the Queen. These delicate treats, prepared with Scottish smoked salmon and cream cheese, were a fixture at royal garden parties and royal train journeys alike. The sandwiches were always prepared with the utmost precision, thin, crustless, and elegantly simple. The first bite carried the crisp taste of the Scottish Highlands, a reminder of her connection to the land she cherished. No exotic garnishes or elaborate twists, just the pure, unadulterated flavor of the salmon, a taste of home. For the Queen, there was comfort in consistency. A slice of smoked salmon was not just food, it was a link to her beloved Balmoral mornings and the mist that lingered over the Scottish hills. Scrambled eggs with smoked salmon and truffle was another dish Queen Elizabeth savored, particularly on special occasions. The queen's breakfast tray, arriving at dawn, was a thing of elegance. Golden scrambled eggs, creamy and soft, topped with curls of smoked salmon and a sprinkling of truffle. It was indulgence, but in her world, it was measured indulgence. The ingredients were simple, but the care with which they were prepared elevated them to something extraordinary. For the queen, mornings at Balmoral were a sanctuary, a time when the world slowed down and the tranquility of the Scottish countryside enveloped her. Outside, the deer grazed quietly in the mist. Inside, she took her time with her breakfast, a quiet moment of gratitude before the bustle of the day began. On rare, informal evenings, the queen would enjoy a simple plate of fish and chips. This iconic British dish, though humble, became a royal affair when served at Balmoral. The fish, perfectly battered, and the hand-cut chips would arrive, and she would slice delicately through the crispy coating with a knife and fork, never eating with her hands. The dish wasn't just comfort food, it was a moment of connection to the ordinary, a reminder that even a queen could find joy in something simple. The saltiness of the fish, the crunch of the chips, and the faint tang of vinegar, each bite carried with it a sense of nostalgia, a memory of simpler times. For the queen, this was a meal that transcended class and ceremony, and it became a royal ritual reborn in porcelain. Before dinner, Queen Elizabeth had another daily ritual, a pre-dinner gin and Dubonnet. The drink, a mix of 2 parts Dubonnet and 1 part gin with lemon and ice, was a moment of pause before the evening's duties began. It was a quiet, measured ritual that signaled the transition from day to night. The crimson liquid, catching the lamplight, was carefully stirred by the queen herself. This drink was not about indulgence. It was a moment of calm, a breath between the responsibilities of the crown. It was a tradition she inherited from her mother, a drink that connected her to the past while anchoring her in the present. Perhaps the most iconic of all her food loves was her fondness for marmalade sandwiches. This humble snack became a symbol of her simplicity, especially after the 2022 Platinum Jubilee sketch with Paddington Bear, where the queen pulled a marmalade sandwich from her handbag. It was a moment that charmed the world, but it was also deeply personal. The queen truly loved these sandwiches: soft bread, simple orange marmalade, nothing fancy. It was a taste from her childhood, a reminder of picnics with her sister Margaret and the long train journeys north. The marmalade sandwich represented a life lived simply and with joy. It was the taste of comfort. Venison from Balmoral was another favorite dish, often prepared by Prince Philip himself. The Scottish Highlands, with their rugged beauty, were a place where the queen could escape from the demands of royal life. The venison, hunted by Prince Philip and prepared over an open flame, was a seasonal delight. The aroma of juniper and smoke filled the air as the meal was prepared. For the queen, this dish was not just about food, it was about connection. The venison was a gift from the land, prepared by her husband, and shared with those closest to her. It was a moment of simple, heartfelt nourishment, far removed from the pomp of the royal banquet halls. At the end of state dinners, the queen's dessert was always modest but delicious: chocolate mousse and strawberries. While guests enjoyed elaborate puddings and pastries, the queen's plate carried a whisper of decadence: a rich, dark chocolate mousse topped with fresh English strawberries. It was a contrast that mirrored the queen's reign: rich yet restrained, elegant yet grounded. The queen never overindulged. She would take a single spoonful, savor it, and stop. Satisfaction for her was never about quantity. It was about quality.